Teachers, it's great having you all here with us today. Let's go ahead and get started. I know you have a lot of questions that I'm hoping we'll be able to answer today when concerning the FSA assessment. This assessment for writing is now given between grades 4 and 11. So we have a lot of students taking this assessment. Grade 4 is going to continue to be a paper-pencil assessment. From 5th grade on, students will be taking this assessment on the computer. The way that it's done is students are going to be given between 3 and 4 passages to read. Then they're going to have to respond to a prompt that's given. Let's say they read several passages on the Statue of Liberty. They may read a fictional passage about someone that's visited the Statue of Liberty. They may read an informational or historical type passage giving them facts. They may have a fact sheet. These passages can come in a variety of genres. Then they're going to have to respond to a prompt. The prompt might say, what does the Statue of Liberty symbolize to America? And they're going to have to use the passages that they have read in their response. It's very different from what they're accustomed to doing. You are no longer doing my first reason, my second reason, my third reason. Students still need to have an introduction, a middle, and an ending, but the content is going to be very different. Before, students were able to make up stories and they were able to pull personal experiences in. This is going to be a little more difficult because students are now, instead of making things up and using their own life, now they're being required to use the information that has been given to them within the text. So it's a matter of teaching students how to say, according to the passage suggests that. These are the type of language that's going to have to be used. Now, Write has come up with a framework. As you know, Write uses video instruction. This video instruction creates a co-teaching experience in the classroom. Teachers are going to learn along with their students. Write does not require training. If you start with the videos, you are going to be learning the new framework or format along with your students. The way it works is you're going to put the video on, and the video is going to guide the students through writing an essay. It's going to give them a step. You're going to press pause. You as the teacher then gets to reiterate what they're supposed to be doing and go around the room and make certain everybody has done the instructions before you can go on to the next step. We have come up with a certain formula for students to use for source writing. It's working really well. Originally, this formula was developed for the PARCC and Smarter Balanced assessments. These assessments, the students write within the reading test. So they may have 2 different writing tasks, but they produce a little shorter essay than I believe Florida is looking for. So Write developers are currently working on new lessons that have more passages or more articles or sources, and then we are going to make the students have a little more extended essay than what is currently being produced for both PARCC and Smarter Balanced. What we would like you to do is you're going to start off using the lessons that are on Write. This is going to teach students how to write to sources. And then as you progress through the lessons and you get to the more complex lessons that are being required for the FSA assessment, it's just going to add for 4th and 5th and 6th grade an additional middle paragraph. Everything else will remain the same and will work really well for your students. We have not been yet given a time limit. We do know that 5th and 6th graders are going to have to type, so they may need extra time this year in the computer lab working on those typing skills. Don't forget to print the checklist that's found on the homepage of our website. You're going to need your Write packets that have the resource sheet that's going to guide the students through the writing, as well as you now have passage books, because students have to read passages in order to use those within their response. So students will need both of those printed off, keep them in a writing folder to use while they're following along with the instructional video. We have recently put up a writing conference video under the trainings tab. I suggest you watch this. Writing conferences are key. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you how to quickly do writing conferences, 2 to 3 minutes with students' writing folders. You will also need to print out their writing conference folders. Writing conferences, providing them with that feedback. That's the key to correcting the sight word mistakes and the periods and the capitals. Students have to hear what they're doing incorrectly several times before they begin to fix some of those errors that they're making within their writing. The assessment is currently only going to be testing explanatory and persuasive writing. So for those grades that are being assessed for 4th, 5th, and 6th, I suggest that you start the year off working on your explanatory and persuasive writing, which is actually great because these two forms of writing follow the same format. Narrative is a very different form of writing. So in the past, Florida teachers were having to teach expository and then a completely different type of writing, which is narrative. Now, in order to prepare for your assessment, you're only teaching explanatory and persuasive, which are taught the same way. So I think you're going to find it to be actually a little simpler when it comes to how much you're trying to prepare students for. After the students have taken the assessment, then you'll want to pick up with the narrative lessons because the narrative lessons are still in your standards. There's also a research tab. There's different types of research writing in your standards. So later on in the year, the research writing, letting the kids do that research paper, all of those tools and videos you will need to guide you through that process are also found on the site. As a quick review before I take questions, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade teachers are going to focus on the explanatory or informative, it's also called, and the persuasive, which may be referred to as opinion or argumentative writing, for the first part of the year. Don't forget your checklist that's found on that home page where it says new users start here. You need to make certain you have your writing conference forms printed as well as your Write packet and your passage books. There is a box on the home page that lets you know when new things are put on the site. So as soon as some of those more advanced lessons that are going to be catered specifically to the FSA assessment, you will know when those are on if you make sure you pay attention to the teacher alert box found on the home page. Let's open the floor to some questions.